my analogy for AI would be that AI is like teenage sex. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to know what it's about. Everyone wants to know how to do it. Everyone's anxious about their first time. There's lots of people swaggering around saying that they've done it loads and they know all about it. I think it's a great analogy when you sort of just, it's just a good thing to remind ourselves that there's very polarizing truths and realities around people's use of AI, and it's all still very early. We are all very early. Although this is rocketing along with speed, this new world, and I think we should all talk to each other as much as possible about how we're going to navigate. My name is Landi Slattery. I'm Creative Innovation Director for Channel 4 with 4 Creative, which is a role that looks at the intersectionality of creativity and technology and how we can move forward and with grace and with also excitement and also with our sensible heads on too. My 3 great working tips for you for AI are: number 1, use AI as your creative punch bag. Think of AI as your creative personal trainer. That is, do not think of it as something that you have like a little pleasant back and forth with, and that it has a lot of answers that you just need to sort of ask it to give you. Instead, use it as your worst possible collaborator. What is the worst it could be? Push it to be the worst it could be, because it actually gives you a real ability to make your thinking incredibly robust. So what I do is I ask it to give me the most cheesiest, most cliched version of an idea, because it gets you to sharpen your instincts, and I think I think a lot of people do this as well, which is always a very healthy thing to do, is to put your ideas in once you have them and ask AI to find out, to look at where you've made any assumptions, where you have any blind spots, where there's any misunderstandings. Get it to ask it to pick holes, ask it to be absolutely painful and really, really annoy you, because the value isn't really in the answers that AI will give you, but it's how it pushes your own ability for judgment, your own ability for resilience about your ideas, and it toughens your instincts and your creative muscles. So yeah, punch bag with it. Number 2, prompt with serendipity. Leave space for magic. AI is a machine, so you have to create the space for magic, right? So it can feel very neat and efficient, but and it can come up with give you 20 possible taglines and all this kind of stuff, but it will go to the output that it thinks you most think that you want, right? So interrupt that, put something in the spoke of the wheels of that, and prompt for serendipity. Ask it for odd sideways perspectives. What would a beekeeper think about this? What would someone who just came out of an all-night rave say about this brand? Whatever. Use tangents to sort of spark connections that you wouldn't reach linearly, and that is what it's absolutely brilliant for. So it's a really good reminder to not just use AI for speed of giving you more of something so that you can pick one, but instead and use it as a space for play and unpredictability, because that's how the magic will come in, and creativity needs magic. Okay, number 3, lead with love, not fear. I think it's really important to remember while you're at work that people are at all different stages in how they feel about AI. Some are curious, some are worried, threatened, skeptical, some are super excited and want to run away and use it for everything. But I think that the best leaders and teammates, make space for those fears instead of sort of brushing them aside. So, I think reassurance, lots of conversation about, how people are feeling about it all, I think is just really, really important that we all keep talking to each other. And I think, you know, with kindness and honesty, we can build more trust with this. And I think we should, think about that, so that when you come across a situation at work where, you know, there seems to be a little bit of stress around the use of AI, just sort of be understanding that people are at different stages in terms of how they feel about it, and really nobody really knows. One thing I always find is really useful to say to myself in any situation in life when I sort of faced with something like that is, what would love do? That's today's dose of magic. Put it to use and make it yours. We're cheering for you.